Have you ever had one of those moments? It's the end of the month. You're sitting there, phone in hand, banking app open, and you're staring at the number thinking, wait, did I even make progress this month? Because you worked hard, you showed up, paid your bills, and grabbed coffee a few times because you deserved it. And somehow, by the time the month wraps up, it feels like you've been running full speed on a treadmill. You're moving, exhausting yourself. But are you actually getting anywhere? When people talk about money goals, they throw around these massive numbers: $100,000, $500,000, $1 million. Numbers so big they feel more like fantasy than reality. But the truth? The real game changer isn't some distant seven-figure dream. It's the first major milestone. Your first $10,000, your first $20,000. That's when everything shifts. That's when saving stops being this vague, abstract concept and becomes something real. Something that proves you're not just surviving, you're building. My name's Ben, and I spend an uncomfortable amount of time thinking about money. Personal finance. Why do people make the financial decisions they do? I've made every mistake. Overspent on gadgets I didn't need. Signed up for subscriptions I forgot existed. Convinced myself I'd figure it out later. But somewhere along the way, I discovered something powerful. Hitting your first major money milestone doesn't just change your bank account. It transforms your mindset, your habits, your entire relationship with money. Imagine you've been saving for months, maybe years. Every paycheck scraping together a little here, a little there, juggling bills. Handling life's emergencies, wondering if it's even worth it. And then one day, you check your account, and there it is, $10,000. Not a dream, real money, sitting there because of you. That moment is like stepping out of fog into sunlight. Suddenly, the path ahead isn't blurry anymore. And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. Why these 3 specific money goals can completely change your financial life. Not just the what, but the why and how. You'll see why most people quit before they even hit their first milestone, and why the ones who don't, they start building momentum that feels almost unstoppable. Let's start with the big one, the first $10,000. Ben, $10,000? That's a lot. And yeah, it can feel like climbing a mountain barefoot. But here's what most people miss. It's not just about the money. It's about building confidence. Most people think money is purely mathematical, but the truth? Money is deeply psychological. It's about mindset, habits, identity. Hitting that first major milestone teaches you something no motivational video ever could. You can actually do this. You're not just surviving paycheck to paycheck anymore. You're actively building a system that works. I have a friend, we'll call her Lisa. She was living month to month, part-time job, student loans, the whole stressful package. Saving $10 here or $20 there felt pointless, like trying to fill a swimming pool with a teaspoon. She almost gave up, multiple times. But she started small, really small, $50 a week. That's it. She cut a few minor subscriptions she barely used, started tracking every single expense, not to punish herself, but just to see where the money was actually going. 6 months later, boom, $10,000. And you know what she told me? I never realized I could actually do this. I feel free. That's the shift. The first milestone is as much emotional as it is financial. It's proof. Proof that discipline pays off. Proof that you're capable. Proof that you're not stuck forever. Without it, aiming for $50,000 or $100,000 feels abstract, intimidating, impossible. With it, you have momentum. You have evidence. You have a track record with yourself. Here's your actionable takeaway. Start tracking everything. Every dollar coming in. Every dollar is going out. It's not about deprivation. It's about awareness. You can't change what you don't measure. Cut the small, unnecessary expenses. Not the things you love, the things you don't even notice. The zombie subscriptions, the mindless spending. Treat this like a game. Every dollar saved is experience points. Every week you stick to the plan is leveling up. And the best part? Once you hit that first $10,000, the next goal doesn't feel like a mountain anymore. It feels like the next level you're already qualified for. You've crushed the first $10,000. Now let's talk about the next major shift, $50,000. This isn't just a random number. This represents a serious shift in your life. The first $10,000 was about confidence, proving to yourself you could do it. The $50,000, that's about freedom, the kind where you start making choices because you want to, not because you have to. When I hit $50,000, it wasn't just the number that mattered. It was the feeling. For the first time in my life, I could say no to things that didn't align with my goals, without guilt, without panic. There's this mental weight that just lifts. Suddenly, you're not constantly bracing for the next unexpected expense. You're not checking your account balance 3 times a day. You start seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. Why $50,000 is a game changer. You're no longer living paycheck to paycheck. Emergencies, covered, short-term wants, you can indulge without the guilt spiral. Investments, you finally have meaningful capital. That's the kind of financial cushion that fundamentally changes your decisions. It's the difference between living reactively, constantly responding to whatever crisis pops up, and living proactively, making strategic moves toward the life you actually want. My friend Mike had always wanted to start a small online business. He had the skills, the drive, the ideas. But every time he thought about leaping, fear took over. Then he hit $50,000 in savings. He took the plunge, started his business part-time while keeping his day job, built it up slowly, made mistakes without going broke. Eventually, he quit his 9-to-5, not recklessly, confidently. Why? Because he had a buffer, he had breathing room, he had freedom. That's what $50,000 buys you. Not stuff, not status, options. Here's your actionable advice. Once you've hit $10,000, don't get comfortable. Keep building. Set a realistic timeline for $50,000. Maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 5. What matters is intentionality. Automate your savings if you can. The less you have to think about it, the more consistent you'll be. Keep tracking everything. Incremental progress compounds faster than you think. At this stage, you might discover new ways to accelerate your progress. Side hustles, freelance gigs, smart investments. The discipline you built getting to $10,000 makes everything from here easier. Not easy, but easier. $50,000 isn't just math on a screen, it's validation. Proof that you can handle money responsibly, that you can plan long-term and actually execute. It's like earning a promotion from life itself. And the reward isn't just numbers, it's choice. Here's where it gets serious. $100,000. This isn't the end-all, be-all of wealth, but it does represent a psychological and practical tipping point. This is where most people finally feel like they're in control. Not just getting by, it's where the abstract dream of financial security starts becoming your actual reality. When I hit this milestone, seeing that number, actually seeing $100,000 in my accounts, it wasn't just a number, it was freedom, validation, a signal that my financial habits were genuinely working, and it shifted my mindset in ways I couldn't have predicted. Suddenly, I wasn't just avoiding debt or chasing paychecks. I was strategically planning my life, my investments, my career moves. Why $100,000 is a game changer. 1. Emergency freedom. You can handle major surprises, medical bills, car repairs, unexpected job loss without your world falling apart. Your buffer allows you to breathe, to think clearly instead of panicking. 2. Investment power. At this level, your money starts working for you in meaningful ways. You can explore stocks, index funds, real estate, or small business ventures with actual leverage. Time and compound interest become your allies. 3. Choice. Over lifestyle. You can live your life intentionally. Want to reduce your hours at work? Take a sabbatical? Travel for a few months? You can actually do it. $100,000 allows strategic risk-taking without recklessness. My cousin Sarah had always dreamed of leaving her corporate job to start a small consultancy. She had the talent, everything except the courage. Fear kept her stuck. What if clients don't come? What if I can't pay my bills? Once she saved close to $100,000, everything changed. She finally dared to take calculated risks. Within 2 years, her consultancy was thriving. She hadn't just escaped the 9-to-5 grind, she'd leveled up her entire lifestyle and financial security. The $100,000 milestone is about empowerment, not bragging rights, not flashy purchases, empowerment. It's the point where your money choices are no longer dictated by necessity, but by intention. You're not reacting to life anymore, you're designing it. Here's your actionable advice. Focus on 3 things. 1. Income growth. Side hustles, career advancement, skill development. Your earning potential matters as much as your saving discipline. 2. Expense management. Track ruthlessly. Automate where possible. Cut the fat without cutting the joy. 3. Smart investments. Don't just let cash sit. Research index funds, ETFs, or other vehicles that match your risk tolerance. Even small amounts grow exponentially over time. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. But every dollar saved, every side hustle completed, every smart investment made, it compounds. Here's something most people don't talk about enough. Money doesn't just change your bank account, it changes your brain. There's a psychological shift that happens when you accumulate meaningful savings. When I was first starting out, money felt like this looming, unpredictable force. I'd stress over rent, bills, groceries. But once I hit that first $10,000, I started thinking differently. Small things stopped triggering panic. An unexpected car repair? Annoying, but not catastrophic. That small buffer gave me mental breathing room. Then $50,000 happened. And that's when my perspective really shifted. I stopped seeing scarcity everywhere. Decisions became strategic instead of emotional. I started asking, does this serve my long-term goals? Instead of, can I afford this right now? And $100,000? That's where true financial mindset mastery begins. You realize that money is a tool, a means, not an end. Wealth isn't just a number. It's freedom, choice, control over your time and your life. My friend Jason had been stressed about money for years, always worried, always calculating, always anxious. When he finally crossed the $100,000 threshold, he told me, "It's like a fog lifted. I can finally think about what I want to do, not just what I have to do." That's the power of mindset. Your money milestones aren't just numbers. They're signals that you can trust yourself to handle bigger challenges, bigger opportunities, bigger life decisions. Every milestone is a mental milestone too. If you're struggling to save, remind yourself the first goal isn't just dollars, it's confidence. The second is choice. The third is empowerment. The numbers matter. But the mental shift? That's priceless. Enough theory. Let's get tactical. Knowing why these goals matter is one thing. Actually hitting them? That requires strategy. 1. Track everything. Write down every dollar you earn and spend. Use apps, spreadsheets, whatever works. Seeing it visually changes how you think about money. It's like holding a mirror to your spending habits. 2. Automate savings. The less you think about saving, the better. Set up automatic transfers from checking to savings right after each paycheck. Out of sight, out of mind. That's how I hit my first $10,000 without feeling deprived. 3. Increase income streams. Your main job alone usually isn't enough to hit these milestones quickly. Side hustles, freelance gigs, part-time work, selling stuff you don't need. And here's the secret. Diversifying income isn't just about money. It's about confidence. 4. Cut non-essential expenses. Small wins matter. That $5 coffee every morning? That's $150 a month. $1,800 a year. I'm not saying enjoy coffee. I'm saying be intentional about it. 5. Invest wisely. Don't just let cash sit in a low-interest savings account. Research index funds, ETFs, or other low-risk investment options. Even small amounts grow significantly over time. Compound interest is your ultimate ally. 6. Celebrate milestones. When you hit a goal, acknowledge it. Not with reckless spending, but with intentional celebration. Something that recognizes your hard work without derailing progress. When I applied these strategies, I was hesitant at first. But when I realized every little bit compounds, I started seeing real progress. And here's the kicker. Progress fuels motivation. When you hit one milestone, the next one seems less daunting. Let's talk about what derails people. Pitfall number 1. Lifestyle inflation. You get a raise. Suddenly, your expenses creep up to match it. Nicer apartment. Fancier car. Before you know it, you're making more money but saving the same amount, or less. Solution? When your income increases, increase your savings rate first. Then consider lifestyle upgrades. Pitfall number 2. Paralysis by perfection. Waiting for the perfect budget, the perfect investment, the perfect moment to start. Solution: start messy. Start imperfect. Just start. Progress beats perfection every time. Pitfall number 3. Ignoring small wins, focusing only on the big goal and ignoring the small victories along the way. Solution: celebrate every $1,000, every $5,000. Every milestone matters. Pitfall number 4. Comparing yourself to others. Seeing people on social media who seem further ahead and feeling discouraged. Solution: you don't see their struggles, their starting point. Focus on your progress, not theirs. So what's life really like after hitting these 3 money goals? Honestly, it's liberating, not in a flashy way, but in a deeply satisfying, quietly powerful way. First, you feel grounded. You stop stressing over minor financial emergencies because you know you can handle them. Second, you gain perspective. Money becomes a tool, not a master. You start thinking about long-term goals, investments, education, experiences, instead of being trapped in reactive financial behavior. Third, you gain confidence. Every milestone proves to yourself that you can do hard things. Saving $10,000, tough but doable. $50,000 requires discipline and vision. $100,000, that takes perseverance and serious mental fortitude. Each goal reinforces the next, and life feels richer. Not necessarily in stuff, but in options. You can take that sabbatical, start that business, say yes to opportunities without panic, say no to distractions without guilt. Final takeaway. These 3 money goals, $10,000, $50,000, and $100,000, aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They're life-changing milestones. They transform your relationship with money, with risk, and most importantly, with yourself. So, if you're wondering where to start small. Save a little. Track everything. Build habits. Momentum compounds. And the life you're aiming for? It's closer than you think. Your first $10,000 builds confidence. $50,000 builds freedom. $100,000 builds empowerment. And beyond that, that's where you start designing a life intentionally, not reactively. Remember, The goal isn't just wealth, it's control, choice, the ability to live life on your terms. And the best part? You can do it. One step, one strategy, one decision at a time.